What's going on, guys? I'm Jaye Black. Salute to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about Kevin Durant. Now, the one thing you don't want to do is get Kevin Durant in his emotions and his feelings. Now, some of the back and forths that Kevin Durant has had recently, I would say, especially the one with Michael Rappaport, that was one that I felt like it was justified, him going at Michael Rappaport. Or his fans going at Michael Rappaport, because you're putting out information through DMs. Like, what's the point of that? Even though you get out here and you try to act like you're these guys' buddy, but as soon as you have a disagreement or two, here you go trying to expose somebody. He's had some back and forths here that I could have sided with him slightly on. But in this situation, to me, it looks like Kevin Durant saw a lot of shade being thrown in his direction by Scottie Pippen. And I have this article here because I'm going to get to it. But Scottie Pippen made some comments that got back to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant did not like it, so Kevin Durant decided to respond to it. Now, we're going to get into this article, and then I'm going to let you know my thoughts on it afterwards. And this is according to The Spun. Earlier today, NBA legend Scottie Pippen made some interesting comments comparing LeBron James and Kevin Durant. The latter carried the Brooklyn Nets against the Milwaukee Bucks, but missed a last-second shot to keep the Nets season alive. After losing Game 7, Pippen made it clear Kevin Durant isn't on LeBron level. Let me just say this. In regards to him being on LeBron level, what is with this whole LeBron is just on a different level than everybody else? Everybody wants to compare LeBron to Jordan, to Kobe. Now you got players who've been around for almost the same amount of time, even though LeBron has been here and has been in the NBA a little bit longer than KD. But what is with the comparison? I saw the game with the Milwaukee Bucks. Kevin Durant, in the latter parts of that game, was hitting a lot of big shots. It's almost like he was unguardable. Now, I've seen Kevin Durant when he's at his best. When the game is on the line, he's going to make big shots. In that moment, he didn't. And when he made that shot, I knew that he messed up on that one. You can tell. And I don't know what this whole let's just speak about the greatness of LeBron and let's compare this guy to LeBron and why he's not LeBron. There's a reason why LeBron is not playing in the playoffs right now, and why Kevin Durant took his team as far as he could take it without Kyrie Irving, even though he did have James Harden. But again, when it came down to it, he was taking the big shots, and he wasn't afraid to do that. He wasn't afraid to do that with the Golden State Warriors. They're two different types of players. KD, as great as his offense was, it turned out to be his worst enemy because he didn't know how to play team basketball, he said. He kept trying to go punch for punch. Have you ever seen LeBron take a shot like that? He ain't got to take that shot. He's going to be smarter, and he's going to force a double. Well, again, these are two different players, Scottie. Kevin Durant and LeBron James are two different players. Just like you and Michael Jordan were two different types of, well, I'm going to say two different types, but when the game is on the line, Scottie, nobody's looking in your direction for the most part. And there are times where Jordan took the game into his own hands or he facilitated, but you could count on Jordan. I don't think the Bulls were counting on you like that. I just don't, defensively, yeah, but offensively, I don't think so. And I wish people stop with this comparison. Again, these are two different types of players. Kevin Durant is not the strongest at all defensively. He is going to take a lot of big shots because if you look at the game with the Milwaukee Bucks, nobody was really looking to take those shots except him. James Harden wasn't going to do it. And you got to remember, this is the same KD that won championship with the Golden State Warriors. That's what KD wasn't able to do. KD can score better than LeBron, but has he surpassed LeBron? Nah, He tried to beat Milwaukee instead of utilizing his team. You see what I'm saying? LeBron would have figured out how to beat them and would have had been exhausted, and he may not have taken the last shot. LeBron ain't KD and KD ain't LeBron. Okay, so they're both different types of players, okay? Well, these quotes got onto Twitter, of course, and you can see them here. And this Twitter account said, but if KD would have hit that three at the end, his foot was on the line, y'all wouldn't be having this conversation then, right? Miss me with it. I wish they would stop these. Who can we compare to LeBron next? I wish they would stop those conversations. Those conversations are stupid. KD responds by saying, didn't the great Scottie Pippen refuse to go in the game for the last second shot because he was in his feelings? His coach drew up the play for a better shooter. And it says, well, Durant saw Pippen's comments and he responded. Now, that wasn't all KD had to say. KD had more to say. KD had more to say. So I want to say he also missed Game 7 for a migraine. Nothing but as soft as clown as Scottie Pippen. This guy, Scottie, also wanted to enjoy his summer, so he chose to rehab during the season. Yo, Scottie, they followed Phil, not you. KD is a very petty guy. KD is very petty. That's why I wish people would stop. I'm going to say stop. Listen, a lot of the people on Twitter, they like to do this with KD. That's why they tag him in these posts, because they know Kevin Durant is going to respond, because Kevin Durant has rabbit ears. Kevin Durant is thin-skinned. I've never really ever denied that he wasn't thin-skinned. The guy has rabbit ears. If you talk about him, he's going to react. That's why I wish people would not be out here tagging him in posts, because you already know KD, again, KD is sensitive. He is sensitive. I don't think anybody would deny that Kevin Durant is sensitive. Okay. And I think he took it to heart what Scottie Pippen said, because he's just lost this series. Kevin Durant wanted to win. They were very close to winning. But Milwaukee has more of a team concept around Giannis than they do KD. So when you look at the Nets, they have Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Blake Griffin. Like, look at the lineup that they have, man. and listen, KD would not have made those shots if he had somebody on that team. If the coaches knew they had somebody on that team who could take those shots, they didn't have that. So the game was in his hands. But in regards to Kevin Durant and his responding, Kevin Durant, again, he has rabbit ears, people. This guy had a burner account. He cares about what y'all say about him. He cares. So when you have Scottie Pippen saying the things that he is saying, it's going to bother Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant, once again, is a guy who has rabbit ears and can be very, very sensitive. That's why he's had his back and forth with Stephen A. Smith, where his mother gets involved. Honestly, I don't have a problem with Scottie criticizing his play on the court. He's an analyst. And that's what these athletes got to understand. When these athletes retire from sports, where do they go? They go to ESPN and they go to Fox Sports to critique other basketball players. Kevin Durant may end up doing the same thing. So these players have to understand that you're going to get criticized. But the one thing I didn't like is this whole comparison to LeBron James. Who cares? LeBron James is a different type of player. Kevin Durant is a different type of player. What's with the comparisons? The comparisons to me make absolutely no sense. Kevin Durant is a different player than LeBron. He's a different player than a lot of these different guys. You can add in there. When he was with Golden State, he was a different player than Draymond Green. Different player than Steph Curry. Even though he's a tall scorer. I mean tall, I mean basketball tall. I'm talking about over what Kevin Durant likes to list himself under 6'10", when he's probably about 6'11". But understand this, Kevin. People are gonna criticize you, bro. But the whole comparison LeBron is what's stupid to me. It is.